Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on? It's your girl Medusa Maybe back with another episode of the I Got Nothing podcast where we talk a little bit about a lot of shit. Well, it has been a week and I have been playing, you know what I'm getting ready to talk about because it's right here on the screen. Starfield's been out for a week and I am ready to give my review. Now, I think so far, I think I've hit somewhere between only 25 and 30 hours of gameplay yet on this game. So I know what you're thinking. That's not a lot of time. Can I really give a review? But it's literally just an initial impression. And honestly, I think I've played it long enough to give a pretty good, opinion of what I think the game is, the good, the bad, the great, and the ugly. So we're going to dive into it while I share a stream that I recorded on Twitch. That's right. Your girl is officially and finally on Twitch. So I'm going to be sharing more of my game streams and more of my commentary on those things. But for this particular one, I had to take the audio out. So I did record this podcast last week, but when I played it back, this video was playing with my audio on top of me talking. So it was like I was over talking myself. So I'm recording again. This time, this one has no audio. So hopefully you guys enjoy. And I'm going to offer more game reviews as more games that I want to play want to come out. So, but if there's a game that you guys are interested in and you want me to review it, just put it in the comments, and let me know what you want me to review and I'll add it on and I'll make it happen. All right. So we're going to go ahead and dive in here. So as I've been talking about since my first podcast, I'm talking about that like it's been a long time. It's only been like 4 or 5 episodes, but whatever. Starfield is Bethesda's first original open world massive player game that has been about 25 years in the making. And I mean, it definitely looks like it. It is a vast, huge single player open world game. Space exploration, fighting pirates, gun battles in space, scavenging, gaining resources, crafting, building, conversations, all different kinds of missions. I mean, this game kind of has it all. I will tell you that if you are not big on space exploration and things like that, you may not want this game. There is a lot of flying, there is a lot of exploration, there's a lot of going to different planets, both habited and uninhabited, registered and unregistered. Some are within the current solar system. Others are in solar systems that haven't been discovered yet. There's multiple worlds, multiple galaxies, multiple universes in this game. So in this particular game, basically, humans have gone into space exploration, obviously, right? So basically what happened is the planet Earth lost its atmosphere. The atmosphere just, you know what I'm saying? And it took about 40 to 50 years for the entire world to basically evacuate everybody they could into space, hence the Vanguard. And there's multiple factions like broken up within the different colonies, different groups of people, different faiths, different beliefs, different everything. But the world kind of came together to kind of get everybody, as many people as they could, off the planet because our atmosphere just stopped working one day. And that's kind of where you enter in. So you start the game as a miner on a planet. You come across this strange artifact, and spoiler alert, you touch the artifact and the artifact shoots into you. All of a sudden you see all these images, this music, and you don't know what it really means. Next thing you know, you're getting recruited by this strange guy who basically tells you to hop on his ship and the robot will give directions on where you're supposed to go. And then you find out that there's this small faction of people that have found artifacts and are trying to figure out what the artifacts are. Is it a message from some ancient civilization? Is it a message from a future civilization? Is it a machine? Is it a portal to an alternate dimension? Is it a weapon? Who knows? And so the point of this game is to find these other artifacts and figure out what this is. And is it going to help us or is it going to harm us? So from that point, you join a group of people that are called Constellation, and you're off and running. Now, this game has a ton of things you can do. There's a ton of traits you can choose that do all kinds of things, and help you, they help you they just help you go through the game in different ways. They help you unlock certain skills. They help you become more susceptible to like convincing people, word of mouth. You get to talk your way into things or out of things. There's the hero trait, which gives you a person that is constantly singing your praises the entire game. And sometimes they give you stuff and it's a random item every time. You know, I chose the traits where I was an introvert. I was somebody who loves my parents. So every week I send my parents a different amount of my credits every week. And it was funny because I remember I was on a world exploring and like a notification popped up that said I just sent like 5,000 credits to my parents. And I was like, oh, 5,000 credits. A lot of goddamn money that I could use for something. I might have to, think about putting them in a home or, something like that. If that's even possible, I don't know. But there's all kinds of things. And then you choose a background, were you a medic? Were you a Ronin? Were you in fact a legendary captain or a legendary hero of a different time, so to speak, and all those things kind of, is your backstory a mystery? All those things kind of play into who you are, how people receive you, and kind of how you move in the game. So there's literally tons to choose from. So let's start out with the things that I like about the game. And I know normally some people probably put the things that they don't like about the game first, but I actually have quite few things though. So I'm going to start with the things I like the most. Character creation. Character creation is actually pretty good. My only qualm about it is, as a woman that is designing my character to be more feminine, the features are not all that feminine. And I mean, and I say that realizing how much can be done in this game, right? I mean, you get your base face shape, and then you could do everything from eyes to eyebrows, nose width, nose height. You want a protruding forehead, you want a forehead that's further back, you want wrinkles, you want you want crow's feet underneath your eyes, you want big lips, full lips, thin lips, your ears. I mean, you can even adjust your neck height and the width of your neck, to do it like that, your cheekbones. I mean, you got all of that in the game, but it still makes you look, the features are still overall kind of masculine. And my character looks kind of masculine. And I've gone back to try to change certain features, because once you pick a face shape, unfortunately you can't change your face shape, which you would think in the future you would be able to do that, but you can't do that. So the face shape is the shape, but you can change different attributes on that. And I just feel like I would like to have more of a feminine face. It's a small nitpick about that. Other than that, I mean, personally, I've seen better character creation on like Wolong. And you know what? And I know I said that I was going to save my negatives for the end, but I actually think I'm just going to mix it in as I go, since I already started. I've seen better character creation on Wolong. You know what I'm saying? So for a game that took like 25 years, I just feel like the character creation could do a little bit better in creating more softer features for those of us who want softer features on our character. But that being said, the character creation is very detailed, body type, things like that. Another nitpick about my character though, why can't I fucking talk? I need to go into whatever room these game executives be a part of, because I want to know, why can't my character talk? Like, I want to respond. I want to talk to people who are talking to me. Yes, there are answers you choose from when you're engaged in a conversation. There are answers to choose from, but why can't my character say the answers or a variation of the answer that you choose, so that way my character talks? Again, I would like to do that. Let's go into, since right now I'm looking at weapons and stuff on the screen. So one of the things that I don't like about the game is it doesn't give you enough tutorials on how to do stuff. So as you can see right here, I am just now, it took me like 25 minutes the second time I played, to figure out how to add guns to the short menu. So as you can see right there in the video, you hit your D-pad in any direction and it brings up your quick equip menu. But then the game doesn't tell you how to put a weapon in there. So it took me 20 minutes to figure out how to do that. You have to save a gun, a weapon, or a medical kit, food, whatever. You have to add it, save it as a favorite, and then it pops up the quick equip menu for you to put weapons or food or med packs, whatever. That to me is kind of whack. I should be able to just pull up my quick equip menu, hit a button, and then assign, and then it should go into weapons or, your menu or whatever to assign a weapon or assign a medical kit, food, drink, whatever, a health item. So that way it just automatically goes in there. The fact that you have to save it as a favorite, and then the only way to get it off of there is you have to override it with another weapon that you save as a favorite and then put it in that slot. Because once you quick equip it, you can't unquick equip it, which is whack, right? So you actually have to choose another weapon or another health item and then put it in the slot that the other weapon was in to be able to get that as unfavorited. That's a hassle. I feel like that shit could be better. I wasn't feeling that like at all. I also don't like the fact that you can only carry one weapon at a time on your back. It would be nice if it would allow us to carry like one large weapon and then one small weapon, like a pistol, or one large weapon and then a melee item. You know what I'm saying? A axe or a knife. I actually picked up a sword. I'm happy to use that. But the fact that you can only equip one weapon on your back means that every time that weapon runs out of bullets or whatever, you got to go to your quick equip menu to equip another weapon. I feel like that's whack because some of these planets that you go to, I mean, look at this solar system. That was a sidebar, like really quick. Look at the solar system. And that was just one. Like you see how vast that is? It's so much going on. And the way that you can look at worlds and all of that, like it's amazing. Anyway, you go to some of these planets and you drop in, and if it's already got some space pirates or something there, these space pirates be in force. So sometimes you might run out of bullets if you don't pick up enough. And then having to, go into your quick equip menu every time you want to grab another weapon, it's kind of whack to me. Anyway, it is what it is. Space exploration, amazing. I love a lot of sci-fi space exploration games that have action in it. You can literally sign me up. That's one of the reasons why I was so geeked about doing Starfield, about playing Starfield. I mean, look at this. Look at all the systems that are on here. The red dots are the unexplored avenues, and the white dots are places that you've already been or are pre-explored by other people. So there's tons of places you can go. You get to a world, you know what I'm saying? You can look for resources, you can land, you can explore in person. I mean, it's amazing. Sometimes you come across like caverns or outposts that used to be inhabited that weren't. You can find a whole lot of tech, a whole lot of weapons, or maybe something else that you weren't even looking for that you came across. Sometimes some of those places you come across a note or something like that that has a side quest, and then boom, you know what I'm saying? Like you just picked up another quest. I love to explore. What I don't like, however, is when you land, okay, there's no rovers. I forget who it was at Bethesda that said recently, that came out, because that is a major complaint of a lot of us who have played Starfield. You got to run every fucking where on these planets. Excuse my French, but I don't want to run every fucking where. Okay, some of these planets are huge. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're exploring Saturn or Jupiter-sized type planet, it's a lot to run. And the next thing you know, you turn around and you like 4,000 or 5,000 meters away from your ship. And if you're like me, you got Geralt hands or Link hands, meaning you pick up a lot of shit so that way you can sell that and get some credits or trade it or whatever. And so if you have a lot on you, you can't fast travel to your ship. Now, something to note. I understand that things weigh you down, right? You can only carry so much. And when you carry more than what your suit can handle or what your person is made to equip, you run slower, you use oxygen up a whole lot faster, your movements are a little slower. That's to be expected. I don't have a problem with that. But you can't fast travel. You can't fast travel back to your ship so you can get there faster because it says you too heavy. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I guess they haven't fixed that in whatever year that this game is in. But I think it's whack that there's no rovers. I forget who it was that somebody at Bethesda had got the feedback from a lot of us players, like, why are there no rovers that we can pull out and ride on these ships? Or our dude Vasco, the robot that you see right here in this video of me, why can't he turn into, like Johnny number 5 from Short Circuit and have some wheels and we can hop on his back and we can ride him around? You know what I'm saying? Like, why can't we do something like that? To be honest, that to me is a major fault of this game that I think is kind of whack. And because the dude said at Bethesda that he felt like they considered putting that in the game, but they ultimately chose against it. And then he tried to say, but we think players will enjoy, running around. No. Players is not enjoying it. I can tell you right now, players is not enjoying it. You can still drive and explore at the same time. Put some windows in that hole so we can look out. You know what I'm saying? And be able so we can do waypoints from inside of our vehicle. So that way we can drive. Because listen, jogging / fast walking back, because when you get over your weight limit, you can't run because you lose oxygen too quick and then you get lightheaded and whatever. So having to briskly walk 5,000 plus meters back to your ship is whack sauce. Okay. I need for them to reconsider allowing us to buy rovers or making so that some rovers automatically come onto ships. Like, I just feel like that is a major oversight they need to fix. Because I'm not going to lie, I explore as much as the next person. I be gone. I be in caverns. I be scanning resources, you know what I'm saying? Scanning plant life, animal life, all of that. I be battling space pirates, doing side missions, all kinds of stuff, all across the vast world of space. But you get tired of briskly walking like 4,000 plus meters back to your ship. And I know you're thinking that's not a lot, but when you look and you got a waypoint for your ship and it's all the way one direction, you be like, oh my God. Like you just get tired of running. And that's just where I'm honestly at with it. And I've only been playing the game for a week. I need a rover. I need something I can ride, a rover bike. I need something where Vasco or Barrett or Susan, whoever, can just hop on that mug with me and we can roll out. So it needs to hold at least 2 people. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. Now, here we are on shipbuilding, like what you see on my video. Let me tell you a little something about me. I'm not a Minecraft person. Okay. I don't have a builder's bone in my body. Okay. So me building a ship or, building an outpost, it's not really for me. However, with the ships, you can upgrade a ship. So that way you can literally just upgrade a ship that you already have. Or the other great thing is you can buy a ship. I've already bought one ship. And then there was a side mission, the Mantis side mission, where you actually get another ship. You know what I'm saying? I also like the fact that you can steal ships on this game. So sometimes I'll take down pirates, and if I can get them before they get to the ship, and all you got to do is unlock the ship, then you take it to a world and you register it, boom, you got a ship of your own. So I actually, though, do enough side missions. I do be stealing. Okay, that's another thing. With my character, I legit was on my way to like the flight exam, right? And then I was, roaming around, minding my business, you know what I'm saying? And I went into this room that had like a regular outfit that I was like, oh, okay, that looks like might be something. And so I like peeked around the corner. And, there was an NPC out there like looking over the railing, chilling, whistling, whatever. I thought that I dug back. I was like I thought, you know what I'm saying? Like I thought I ducked back enough. I grabbed it. They saw me. And then a thing came across that said, security is on their way. Basically, they called the cops like instantly. And I'm minding my business. I'm trying to go take the pilot. I was like, oh, shit, maybe I should go take this pilot exam. And they actually nabbed me right before I took the pilot exam. And then I got bailed out by a UC commander who recruited me for a secret mission. So I'm actually a spy that's also a Vanguard captain on top of having a Ronin trait. So, I like to do shit for money because I be needing it. Shit's expensive in this game, okay? But the shipbuilder, I'm not somebody who can really build a ship. I can upgrade my ship, but if it's not an upgrade, I can't really build my ship. You know what I'm saying? So I can upgrade different things about the ship. I can change the colors and stuff like that. But like there was a group that I'm in, an Xbox group, where this guy built a ship from Halo. Like he built Master Chief's ship from like, I think the first or second Halo. And I'm sitting there like, how in the hell did you do that? Like, I just don't have that skill. And it's the same thing with the outpost. Now, the outpost is different because so basically you can go onto pretty much almost any planet and build an outpost. And the outpost is where, resources can be mined, things can be upgraded, you can recruit people to kind of do some additional work and stuff like that. And it's just building building you up, building your resources and discovering new things, right? The outpost, though, you build an outpost. Like, there's parts that you have to build the outpost. Again, I'm not somebody who likes to build. I don't have the brain for it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't have that. So there's a little tutorial on how to build on how to build the outpost. Just like you saw in my video, there's a small tutorial on how to build a ship, but it's like a quick flash on the screen and that's it. There's no walkthrough to help you build like maybe your first ship, to help you build your first outpost. So that way, you know what you're doing from then on. Like, it's just like, oh, you put this here, you start with this piece, and then that's it. And then you're like, okay, what am I supposed to choose? And then when you go to try to select different parts, especially with the outpost, it'd be like, oh, you haven't found this compartment yet. Oh, you haven't done this yet. And so you just be like, okay. And then the tutorial doesn't pop up again. So you kind of have to go through the motions to find it, to be able to figure out how to build an outpost. Now, what I wish they would add is an option that automatically builds an outpost for you if you have enough components. So like the only thing you have to agree on is maybe the size, and it has different pre-given layouts for different sizes. And then depending on what resources you have, you should be able to yep, auto build. And the game just auto builds an outpost. For those of us who can't really build, and one thing I can tell you that Starfield is a very complex game. Like, it's complex. It's not hard. It's just complex. And what makes it complex is, for me, is the building and stuff. I'm good with weapons crafting, spacesuit crafting, and upgrading, resource crafting, which honestly, resource crafting and all that shit, I would rather have a rover than the resource crafting, because honestly, you do enough exploration, you will find pretty much almost anything that you need. You know what I'm saying? From weapons to spacesuits to helmets to health items and more. Side missions, resources, metals like aluminum, copper, iron, all the type of other stuff that I've never even heard of before. I mean, you do enough exploration and enough missions and stuff like that, you'll find enough. I just feel like the resource crafting, the cooking, there's restaurants you can buy food from. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go buy the food from restaurants and bars. So I don't really need to cook. You know what I'm saying? So unless it's like a rare item type situation, I just feel like they could have kept all of the crafting and given me a fucking rover and made it so that the game can also build outposts. So just like you can buy a ship, you should also be able to auto build outposts for those of us who not really into the building thing. Now, those are, some of the things. And talking about instructions, the game doesn't give you all that much. Now, that was on purpose because Bethesda said that they wanted the main thing for everybody to do is explore. And if they're explaining everything to you, then you truly can't make the game yours. I call kind of rubbish on that. You can make the game yours and you can have some additional exploration. So going back to how to make a gun a favorite, how to put a gun in the quick equip menu. It took me, like I said, like 20 minutes to figure that out. It wasn't in any instructions. They didn't give a tutorial. It wasn't in any of the how-tos. Like, there was nobody that I could ask to figure out how to do that. And I'm just sitting up here like, that is something that you could have did a quick tutorial on to tell me how the hell do I make do a quick equip to a weapon. So there's just some things that I feel like they could give you additional info on how to do, and you could still have enough freedom to be able to discover the game, because the game is massive. Like I said, you guys saw the one solar system that you saw in the game. You saw the one ship of mine. Again, since then, I've gotten 2 more. But, it's a huge game. It's a huge game. You can give me a little bit more instruction. Okay, you can replay the how-to video for me or do a little bit of, would you like more information? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like make out an option or no. You know what I'm saying? So those people who don't want it don't have to have it. There's that. Um, as far as gameplay, for me, the gameplay is mad smooth. I haven't had too many glitches except for one, really. Or two. I'm sorry, two. So there was one where there was a side mission where I had to get some exotic wine or whatever for this lady who was trying to create this amazing drink. I actually need to go visit her and see how that shit came out. But I had to go to like this luxury ship that wasn't in commission anymore. I had to dock with the ship, and then I had to find this alcohol. Okay. In me fighting, so the ship was going through some structural failure where the the gravity on the ship kept going in and out. So 1 minute you're on the floor, right, walking around. The next minute the gravity goes out on the ship, and boom, you kind of floating in the air and whatnot. So pirates is on the ship, obviously, because they scavenging just like me. And this one dude, I came around the corner. This one dude, when the gravity was on, we was both on the ground. I killed him on the ground, right? Gravity goes off, his body floats in the air like it's supposed to, right? So I'm going around the corner. Next thing I know, the gravity comes out back on. We land back on the floor. Next thing I know, he like jumps up and is like, you know what I'm saying? Like he grunting and stuff. And I'm like, hold on, you supposed to be dead. So I turn around thinking I'm about to do something, but he's not appearing as a red dot on my screen. The targeting doesn't recognize him as being there. And then I shoot him a couple times and nothing happens to him. So I'm like, okay, but he sure enough is there and he's moving. And I'm like, all right, so that was the first glitch. And then another glitch was after I got done with that mission and I go back onto my ship, I turn around to put something in my med packs or stow it away or something. And it's like the outside of the ship, or the ship I just came off of, it looks like it was coming into my ship and it was moving like this. Like it looked hella weird, like hella weird. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a glitch, you know what I'm saying? And whatever. Other than that, I have not experienced a glitch on this game. Now, I do know that there are some players who experience a lot. I know that other players haven't experienced, any. I know that there have been more glitches on the PC version of this game than on the Xbox version of this game, the console version. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I personally haven't experienced that. The gameplay is smooth. The cameras move around great. When you do shoot a weapon, the weapons are cool, except some of the weapons need a little bit better targeting. Like I just found that the recoil causes you to move. And so the aiming is not as crisp as I would hope for it would be. But there are some guns with the aiming is very, very crisp and very, very accurate. So honestly, it may just depend on the gun you have equipped and the gun that you're using. But gameplay is smooth, running is smooth, communicating is smooth. I'm saying the frame rates and all that stuff is smooth. I mean, the game looks amazing. That's one thing I can definitely say that I love. The game looks amazing. The level of detail, to how people move their jaws when, when they're talking to you, the scale. I mean, look at that. The scale of the place, the detail. I mean, the shadows, the hair movement, all of that. I mean, you can see the little crinkles and stuff in Susan's jacket right here. I mean, it's just the level of detail, the art, the imaging, all of that is just larger than life. The cinematicness, the game has such a cinema feel to it from the look and the sound. Because listen, you have a good set of headphones on, or if you got good sound coming out of your TV and you turn it up, it's like being in an IMAX theater. Like the booming of the game can actually get that loud. Like, I mean, it's amazing. Something real quick that I thought of that I don't like, going back to character creation. I'm a Black girl. I'm just going to come out and say it. There's not enough Black hairstyles on this game. Okay. They did the typical cornrows. Okay. Which the cornrows look weird. There's a lot of flyaways. They're not crisp. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, they got straight parts in them, but they're kind of wide. Like it's kind of whack. They try to do a curly hairstyle, like a curly girl hairstyle. But if you look at Susan's hair, That's kind of what the curly hair looks like. Okay, her hair. It's kind of what it looks like. It might have a little bit more waves in it. The style that I saw has a little bit more waves. So they try to do a curly girl hairstyle, but it's not enough volume for me. Okay. And then they did an Afro mohawk, I believe, but the mohawk has super bald sides, which is not necessarily a problem, except when you turn the character to the side, the back of the mohawk is pressed down. It's like it's flute, it's nice and puffy and full on the top, but then you turn it to the back, and it looks like you've been sleeping in the bed too long, and it's just depressed. Like it's like this in the back. Like you see how outside of my head like this? It's like this in the back, and I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like why is the back of the mohawk depressed? You know what I'm saying? Like it's weird. And then it's not black person curly. And then the fourth, I'm sorry, yeah, because there's only four that I saw. A fourth hairstyle is, I think they tried to do a version of locks on the game. There's like it's like their attempt at doing locks. So I'm just going to be real candid. Bethesda, I'm looking directly at the camera. Bethesda, there's a whole lot of people out there, Black artists in particular, Black graphic designers and all of that, who has made it their mission to make sure that there are more Black textures, or that any Black textures that are used in the game look more authentic. I'm gonna need you to hire more Black people in the character creative design department and give real Black hairstyles. Because again, for a game that took y'all 20 to 25 years, I'm very disappointed at the lack of Black hairstyles in this game, and the ones that are in the game, how horrible they look. Let's be honest, these hairstyles are Eurocentric. They just are. Even when you look at the braids, there's so many fucking flyaways. They're not even neat. You know what I'm saying? It's what it would look like if a white person braided their hair. And I'm just like speaking facts on that. That's just what it is. The mohawk has no fullness to it. Like it's no Black fullness. You know what I'm saying? They didn't put no finger waves in the game. They didn't put no mohawk braided hairstyles. I don't even think there is a braided hairstyle in the game. If it is, it's very like young. It just don't look right. You know what I'm saying? The braids just flat out don't look right. And I personally just feel like they just don't have the right people designing some of these characters, and that's just what it is. So I was hoping for more in that. I'm actually very disappointed that they didn't have better hairstyles for Black people. You know what I'm saying? Or more minority hairstyles, or however it is y'all want to call it, whatever the PR is saying you want to use. I say Black, they need better Black hairstyles in the game. They're very Eurocentric, and it's kind of whack. With the exception of the haircut, there's one NPC. Brother had a crisp lineup. Like his line was like, it looked like the horizon. Like it was mad crisp, and he had a little bit of waves in his hair. I was like, I see you. Everything else, I mean, so I gave my character like a short hairstyle that had cuts in it, because the long hairstyles were all whack. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted an Afro look. They don't really have any on the game. And like I said, the curly Afro mohawk on there, it's very whack. There's my guardian on Destiny has a better mohawk than the one that's in this game. And that's just facts. So, but in terms of a lot of other stuff in the game, I mean, like I said, I've only got about 25, 30 hours into this game, because, I do work, and things like that. And I mean, but from what I've played so far, there's literally a ton of different avenues to go through. There's tons of worlds. There's tons of galaxies. There's literally tons of things to do. My hope is that the things that us players are complaining about get more attention, and maybe some upgrades from Bethesda to these games will actually be better. Because I have to admit, for everything that I've done so far, and for how I feel about, before I give my final thing, a couple other things on the game that I wish would change. I wish sometimes I can tell the NPC that comes with me to shut up. And I know that's a small thing, but listen, Susan, Susan gets on your nerves. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here scavenging. I'm trying to carry shit because I'm trying to sell it. I'm trying to break it down. I'm trying to use it as a crafting item, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And every time I turn around, here goes Susan. Well, oh my God, do you have to pick up so much junk? Oh, okay, let's stop and drop things that aren't important. I'd be like, shh. Hey, dang, ain't nobody talking to you. Ain't nobody asking you nothing. I got this. Can I do me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just be wanting to tell her, like, can you just stop talking to me for like the rest of this mission? Like, sometimes I legit be leaving her at the ship just so I ain't got to hear her when I'm going around doing my thing. But having an NPC with you when you're on some of these worlds is important because, again, you come across some pirates at an outpost or something like that, and there'd be a lot of them. And it's a lot to take out by yourself. You need cover. You need somebody to cover you. So they come in handy, but damn, sometimes I wish they would be quiet. Another thing I wish there was a mini map for when you land on these worlds. Because listen, especially when you land at like New Atlantis or whatever, Mars, and all of that, there be shops, there be places to visit and all of that, but you don't know what none is. You know what I'm saying? You just running around and then you look at a store window, you be like, oh, it look like you sell clothing. Okay, let me go in here and see what you got. Oh, this looks like a coffee bar or a cafe or a restaurant. Okay, let me go in here and see, oh, these look like apartments or high rises, whatever the case may be. I wish there was a mini map that you could zoom into and see all of the different shops. Because if I wanted to visit the place where I can change my looks, you know what I'm saying, the cosmetic place, I legit can never remember where it is. You know what I'm saying? And there's different ways to come into and exit the cities depending on what it is that you're doing. So, if I wanted to find the medical shop, or if I wanted to find some clothing stores, you literally just have to run around and find one. I wish they had a mini map that you could zoom onto when you land on the world and you can waypoint, to these different locations so you can find yourself and head straight to the bank if that's what you wanted to do, or you can go to your apartment if that's where you wanted to go, or so on and so forth. I do not know why they didn't put a mini map. I guess they figured with all the worlds and all the details and all the stuff that you have and being able to land wherever it is that you want to on certain planets, there would be no need. But listen, when you go to an inhabited world that has a city, maybe a couple of cities, I don't know why mini maps got overlooked in this game. They definitely should be a thing. Another thing in terms of gameplay, why there's no strafe on this game, I have no idea. Because listen, I be wanting to you can kneel, you can jump, you can run, you can walk, right? And you can, when you get your jetpack, you can boost. Although I wanted to boost longer, but whatever, I'll take it. However, not being able to strafe on walls is whack to me. Because again, when you're in a situation when you fighting against pirates and whatever, and they coming, they flying down and they running out and they coming up hallways and whatever, I want to be able to just strafe on a wall and peek around and shoot. Your whole body sometimes has to be out, or you have to scoot out enough to get around the corner, but they shooting you while you shooting them. You know what I'm saying? Strafe. Why is there no strafe? Like, I do not understand why there's no strafe in this game. So that way I could just fire from in cover without having to be out, or something like that. Like, it's crazy because there's no rolling on this game. There's no rolling on this game. There's no evading on this game. You just out there, which I get. You're in a spacesuit. Stuff is heavy. You can't really maneuver out. So I understand that. But I don't understand why there's no strafe. There should be a strafe in this game. Again, that's a small critique compared to some of the other things that I wish were in the game. But, there's that. So far, like I said before, I've been playing this game for about 25, 30 hours. I know some people who've got 40 plus hours, 100 hours, so on and so forth. I can tell you that my official review of this game is I give Starfield a 7.5/8 out of 10. And I give it that simply because cinematically, the game is beautiful. Sound-wise, the game is amazing. Even gameplay-wise, the game is good. I love the space exploration. I love the ship battles, which I like the ship battles, okay? Why I be needing to buy a better ship, because I like the ship battles, and things like that. the game is really good for all that. Tons of side missions. You can literally, honestly, since I started the game, I think I've done of the main quest, right? Which is finding more artifacts, finding Barrett, the person who recruited you, and stuff like that. So far, I think I have played way more side missions than I have the main missions. That's how many side missions there are. There's tons, and I know I haven't even cracked the surface because I've got less than 40 hours on this game. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot to do, and there's a lot of great things about the game. But the things that are missing are big things. Not having a rover, not having more melanin hairstyles. You know what I'm saying? The way, the mini map, it's enough where it's not enough that could make me stop playing the game. But if those things were involved, it would have allowed me to score the game a little higher. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some reports where some people have sped through a game and they've already like beat the game. But when you're, what is it, streamlining, whatever it is that's called, when you're playing a game like that, to me, you're playing straight through the main story. You're not doing any missions. You're not doing any exploration. You're not collecting any resources. You're not doing anything extra. You're just going from beginning to end. And for a game this big, that's got so much stuff going on with it, if that's what you're going to do, don't even bother with this game. If you're somebody that's really not and the other thing, the outpost thing, the not being able to automatically build an outpost is something else that I need on the game. Okay. There should be options, just like there's an option to build a ship or buy a ship. There needs to be an option to build an outpost or auto build one a pre-made design, something that you can add stuff onto and upgrade and change or whatever. If you're somebody that's not into the mass amount of space exploration that this game offers, this game isn't for you. And that's a big thing. Space exploration, honestly, to me, is like 90% of this game. So if that's something that doesn't appeal to you, this game is not going to appeal to you. This game does have a repetitive feel because it's so much exploration and jumping from world to world. Some worlds ain't got shit going on. You just running around. There's nothing out there, AKA Earth. There's nothing out there. You know what I'm saying? I found a couple of resources, a couple of craters. That was it. There's no people, no caverns, no missions, no nothing. You just land and see and see what you see and get what you get. That's a lot of these worlds too. That's a lot of these areas too. So it can feel very repetitive, right? So if that's something that bothers you, you're not going to like this game. But if you're somebody that likes to be immersed, the story actually is really good for this game so far. And it's so much mystery that even I don't know what the artifacts lead to. And I'm looking forward to that. There's so many side missions. There's so many ways that your character can go. I mean, like I said, I got a criminal record because I've been arrested already. And I had a couple bounties on my head. One, I landed with the bounty and the Vanguard cleared it for me, but they took all my shit. I was pissed about that because I spent a lot of time grabbing that shit and I was mad when they took it. And then the second time I paid the fee to clear the bounty myself. So I done already had like a couple bounties, you know what I'm saying? I done already, been to jail, so to speak. I'm also an undercover agent for an intelligence part of the military. And I'm a captain at the same time. So I'll let you know they're taking a little bit of everybody out there. They are not picky, okay? I was coming back from a mission and Susan was like, listen, I know I got to be with you for a couple of times, but I can tell you I do not, okay, in her accent, I do not like how things are going. You better get your head on straight. I was like, blah, 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 Susan, whatever. Nobody told you to come with me, okay? I get the job done. That's all you got to worry about, okay? Don't you worry your pretty little head about anything else. But I can say overall, the game is, as you can see my character, overall, I like the game. I don't have any qualms with the game yet. Now, again, let me get halfway through this game and I may have a different kind of review for y'all. But as of right now, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been waiting on this game ever since I heard it being announced, like sometime last year, and to know everything that they've done on the game. But I just feel like for all the time that they did put on the game, there's a couple of things that they could have did better that I think would have made my gameplay a little bit more delightful for me. But there's a lot going on in the game. The game gives you a lot of freedom of creativity. It gives you a lot of freedom of choice, a lot of freedom for how you want to play, where you want to go, what do you want to do, who do you want to be. And I think for the kind of game that they wanted this to be, it does accomplish those things. And so because of that, that's why I said I give it a 7.5/8 out of 10. So as this video slowly comes to an end, as you can see, I'm going in and using some crafting tables, but slowly coming to the end of my gameplay video, which means I'm coming to the end of this podcast. So I may have another game. I may have another update for you about this game once I get probably a little bit more halfway through and let you know if I found any other things that you may be aware of. I'll share more gameplays on my Twitch and on my YouTube channel. But other than that, this has been my Starfield review, and I thank y'all for being here with me for it. If you have any questions, comments, if you've got Starfield, what do you think of the game? Do you like it? Do you like it as is, or would you change some things? Let's talk about it and see what happens, because you never know. Maybe Bethesda will hear enough of us complain and maybe add some stuff. We're minority hairstyles and a rover. But other than that, we just gotta keep playing and see what happens. So this is Medusa Maybe, and I will see y'all amongst the stars.